the play with the ball final due on what is now a very wet stadium in Guangzhou. Qingdao even at the Shark Sevens in China. So we are heading for the bowl final between UAE and Singapore. And a wet and windy finish to the day. Both these sides in the rights to take a bit of silverware home earlier in the day. We're just being held there now in the tunnel. The UAE seen a huge improvement in their performances in the opening tournament of the series for the 2015 Asian 7 series, changing selection policy, bringing local Emirati players together with local club players, all fulfilling the World Rugby eligibility rules. And certainly some of the performances this weekend are pointing in an upward direction, and all bodes well for the remaining 2 legs in Bangkok and Sri Lanka later in the year. So both teams, Singapore being held in the tunnel at the moment. So welcome back to the 2015 opening tournament of the Asian 7 series. We are now at the men's bowl final stages. Game 44 of 52. So 8 games to go, all the finals. So a bit of silverware on the end of this performance for either UAE or Singapore. And Patrick Kwok from Hong Kong taking charge of this bowl final. With Singapore to kick off. Through Mohammed Hussein. So Singapore to get this whole semi-final off the ground. A great little kick-off, nice and short. Early possession to Singapore, but a great counter-ruck. As I say earlier, weather conditions having deteriorated, so the footing now difficult. A bit like yesterday, the end to yesterday's tournament day. And the early signs here that Singapore are dealing with the conditions well. Forced wide. Great footwork by the Singaporean Brian Ong. And indeed opening space up. And the opening score for Singapore in the corner. Recycling himself. Not sure if he's going to get up. I think we're looking down at number 10, Nicholas Yao. Fine dive over in the corner, out wide. Difficult conversion to come. But Mohammed Hussein looking to add the extra points out wide. With the advantage. Oh, it's a fine effort. And indeed, fantastic kick. One of the best of the day. adding the 2 points from probably 6 inches inside the far touchline. So fantastic kick to add the 2 extra points to take Singapore out to an early lead in this bowl final. Silverware on the end of it for the minor places, and significantly important as we move towards an 8-core team competition next year. So only the top 7 at the end of the series being guaranteed a spot in the Season 7 series next year. So everything to fight for this. What technically is the 9th, 10th spot, the bowl final. The team winning the bowl, obviously finishing 9th. And great skills and great power and presence by the UAE. Great momentum. Fantastic leg drive there by number 14. I'm not sure who that is because we haven't got a 14 down on the... We know number 3 prominent player there, Justin Walsh. Superb ball carrying skills by Justin Walsh. Creating the final score for Christopher Marshall. It's a fantastic response by the UAE team. Justin Walsh benefiting from some great work early, driving back in their own half, holding the ball off to Christopher Marshall to get the opening score for the UAE. Again, difficult conversion. Justin Walsh, but beginning to have the 2 points. Again, a fine effort, just passing the right hand upright, so extra points not added. So 2 early scores in this bowl final. UAE 5, Singapore 7, all to play for. Justin Walsh to get the game underway. Lovely hanging kick, giving his forwards every opportunity to pressurise Singaporean team. Patrick Kwok judging that to have gone back. So Singapore, a chance to build from their own 22. Tough in these conditions. Holding penalty there against Singapore in their own 22, presenting an opportunity, early possession following this score. Justin Marshall distributing to Ian Overton. Great leg drive by Ian Overton, fantastic. Had a huge influence on the semi-final win. Ian Overton there busting through 2 tackles, leg drive. And with the wet conditions, the 2 wannabe tacklers just slipping off Ian Overton, so fantastic. Second score for Singapore. And Justin Walsh looking to add the extra point. A little bit of an easy kick, but nothing's that easy in these conditions for the kickers. Indeed, again, he's pushed it just to the right of the upright. UAE taking a 10-7 lead with 2 minutes left on the clock of this first half of the bowl final here in the Asian 7 Series opening event in Tsingtao at the Sharks China Sevens. The Sharks being the host club. And very lucky enough earlier today to see some exhibitions from their young players and from their coaches, and a hotbed of China rugby now. So it's great to be hosted by the Sharks Club in China. Patrick Kwok keen to get the game underway, so Justin Walsh to restart the game after the score by Ian Overton. Palm back by Singapore, but a greasy ball creating difficult conditions. Singapore forced back into their own 22 under a huge amount of pressure from the marauding UAE team, and indeed again forcing and a quick tap and go and a fantastic score. No, it looked as if it was going to be a score, but indeed he was held up under the post, but they weren't 10 metres, so still an opportunity for UAE to convert this pressure into points. Scruffy ball over the top, Oh, the weather conditions creating problems for Balushi out wide. Just a knock on there, giving the scrum down 10 metres from their own line to Singapore, but a chance to relieve the pressure and moving into the final minute of the first half. Singapore still in this game, 3-point game. Head in possession from this set piece to Singapore. Then Salomon to feed it. And the relieving kick upfield, kick and chase, should be dealt with by UAE, but slippery ball. And indeed safety first. Back into touch by Mohammed Hassan for UAE. Just slowing things down, but Singapore will have the throw in at the line out with 10 seconds left on the clock of this first half. But an opportunity maybe to attack one more time and go into the half perhaps leading, but UAE looking to challenge this line out. And it's a crooked feed. It was a crooked feed, but I'm not sure what Patrick Cock has given there. He seems to have given a free kick. I think it's probably delaying the throw in actually. So late opportunity, last play of the game to UAE before Patrick Cock brings the first half to a conclusion. Messy, tight contact area. Oh, but the great power, great work by Jean Boats for UAE, driving his legs into the contact area. Not releasing there, so advantage being played for UAE. And indeed Patrick Cork has now penalised them, giving UAE Niall Stratham on the ball, but not tempted to go quickly. Be interesting to see now what UAE decide to do off this. And it's number 3, Justin Walsh, decides to truck it up into the contact area. Early distribution out to number 11, Chris Marshall. And unfortunately again, ball spilled. Balushi unfortunately couldn't gather that ball, and Bassem Balushi couldn't gather that ball. Final play, and Patrick Kwok brings the first half to its conclusion. Scrappy, messy game to be expected, I suppose, in these conditions that have deteriorated at the Qingdao Stadium. But half-time score here in the bowl final, it's UAE 10 and Singapore 7. Some highlights there. Early score by Singapore, but then UAE coming back into the game, answering with 2 tries of their own. Just Christopher Marshall there taking the ball up, and prominent player for the UAE over the weekend, Ian Overton, getting their second, taking a slender lead into half time of 3 points. Randolph Coates, the new man in charge of UAE Rugby, having his say there with his charges, hoping that he can take the first bit of silverware home to UAE this weekend. I know they had a long trip over. I was talking to him, taking nearly 24 hours to get from Dubai into Qingdao at the start of this tournament. Arrived early hours of Friday morning. So UAE set to get the second half underway. Justin Walsh with the ball in hand. They're going to give his forwards a chance of retaining this possession off the kickoff. Patrick Cork checks with Singapore captain, and away we go. Great kickoff by Justin Walsh. Nice hanging ball, given every opportunity. And indeed a fantastic win. Patrick Cork seeing play on there. Looked as though there was a knock on, but judged to have gone back. So early possession to Singapore. Number 2, Martin Butler, carrying the ball up for Singapore. Early ball out wide. Great distribution to number 11, Brian Ng. Giving momentum, but unfortunately losing the ball just inside the UAE 22. And no advantage gained there by UAE, so Patrick Kwok will bring them back to the set scrum on the edge of the UAE 22, and really opportunity for UAE to build on their slender lead. They're going to have to work hard for this one, starting from the edge of the 22. Scrum down. Singapore will be looking to keep them pinned in this corner, and early in the second half we see a tactical substitution there with Singapore, with number 4 Sydney Kumar coming on for Martin Butler in the pack. So early ball out here to Christopher Marshall. Oh, and unfortunately, again the conditions, Christopher Marshall unable to retain the possession and just trying to get the ball away, but failing in his attempt because of the slippery ball. As if we're going to see Majid Palushi have a run, but Christopher Marshall just couldn't get the ball clear. So it's a scrum down opportunity again to the Singaporean team, looking to distribute. Mohamed Hoshin just in the 10 slot, but a great pick and go down the blind side by number 7 Saluma. Lovely ball out wide and giving number 11 Brian Ong the opportunity to find some space, showing good strength, but some superb cover tackling by the UAE, but recycled well by Singapore. There's an opportunity, but we step back inside into the contact area, but again retaining possession. Lovely offload to Ho Chow. Again straightening up, experienced player involved with the coaching staff as well. And here's an opportunity now, looking to spread the ball wide, but there's the space and fantastic half break. Great cover tackling, and it's been pinched, although illegally, from a side entry called by Patrick Kwok. And keen to get on with it. Number 7, Sulima, quick to take the tap penalty, and it's such a mess, but Patrick Kwok playing the advantage. Tap and go, and we've got the score. Just looking there, looking if it's held up, and it looks as though it's been knocked on in the in-goal area. Patrick Kwok signalling a UAE scrimmage. Be interesting to look at that again, but look for all the world that Singapore were going to retake the lead. The greasy conditions. Attempted to try scoring opportunity. The ball was spewed forward, and as a result now UAE getting a chance to relieve the pressure with a set scrum. Injury here to one of the Singaporean players. We don't like to see this. We've seen a stretcher employed a few times over the weekend. 3rd or 4th time this. Need to take every precaution with any kind of edge injury, neck injury. He seems to be okay. You can see his hands moving, and physio's talking, medics talking to him. He's actually twisting himself over now. Indicating he has had a bump on the head. Seems to be okay. He's sitting up himself now, and I'm sure they'll take every precaution and they'll help him off the field. And so 3.5 minutes left of this tight, bold final between the UAE and Singapore. UAE leading Singapore 10-0 at 10-7. Just a break-in play here for some attention to one of the Singaporean players. Seems to be okay, but the medics naturally taking their time. He's sat up. Can see him. It is number 9, Mohammed Hussein, UAE number 9. Indeed, he is. It was pleasing to see a player walk off. Obviously be thoroughly medically checked out, as seems to be a head injury, neck injury. Take every precaution to see that he's okay. So back to the play, with 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Head and feed to UAE. Clean possession. Interesting to see if they clear their lines, but great ball carry there by Furi, Rhino Fui. Great momentum created by the UAE. Lovely short ball, employing the wet weather tactics, which we've seen by a number of teams in the latter part of today. Great straightening by Christopher Marshall. Again, real wet weather sevens now. A pick and go. Now there's an opportunity perhaps to spread it wide in some space after the 3 pick and goes. It's great ball out wide, giving number 7, Majid Bashoui, every opportunity to exploit the wide outside. Great ball retention. Advantage being played here by Patrick Kwok for the UAE, but I think it's advantage over now. Looking to present the ball. Great seal by Rhino Furi. Big fella in midfield there, number 1, Mohammed Hussein. Great straightening up. Just creating a little bit of space for Christopher Marshall out wide, and what a fine score. Second of the game for Christopher Marshall. Fantastic support, but the hard work was done by Mohammed Hussein, the big fella, the number 1, who's a great ball carrier, and certainly in these wet weather conditions, certainly that's the way forward. Straightening up initially to create that extra bit of space, as we see the replay for Christopher Marshall to score in the wide outside. So that's a vital score, taking UAE out to an 8-point lead with 1.5 minutes left of this bowl final. Everyone in Asia Rugby will recognise the big fella that will be presenting the bowl. Led to believe there will cameo appearance by ARFU President, Asian Rugby President I should say, Trevor Gregory. The 2 points not added, but significantly now as we move into the final minute. That score taking UAE 8 points clear, and Singapore needing to score twice to take the ball out of the clutches of the UAE's hands. So familiar sight, Justin Walsh kicking off. How's that gone? Wow, if he'd let that would have probably landed in the 10, but it hit in Mohammed Hassan, the big fella on his head. And Patrick Kwok awarding the free kick back on the halfway line for not 10. Into the last 30 seconds. Singapore needing to really score in the next 10 seconds to even threaten the UAE's hold on this ball. And there's the mistake again. These conditions have deteriorated hugely, and we're into the last 10 minutes, but well, Furi bringing the ball away. Good ball retention, good distribution. Up and slight mistake and a knock on by Mohammed Hassan. We're down to 0 on the stadium clock, but Patrick Kwok thinking there's certainly enough time left for this last set piece of the game. So Singapore's head and ball. Really UAE now looking to just see this ball out. And there it is. No. Pushing in the back, so Singapore get another opportunity. It's been a great tournament for UAE, coming back to a bit of form and showing some superb skills and be rebuilding their sevens programme, and indeed going to be taking home the silverware at the first tournament of the season. Oh, lovely show and go by number 8 Chow Teng. A great cover tackle by UAE. Oh, but they just can't get it off the field quick enough. There it is. Patrick Kwok brings the bowl final to a conclusion. So a fantastic win for UAE, and leaving the Asian 7 Series in China, Qingdao, China, with a little bit of silverware. So the final score in the men's bowl final: UAE 15, Singapore 7. And indeed, I can see Trevor Gregory blazered up, president of Asian Rugby. Always loves his blazers. He's got 3 or 4 with him every trip. I never quite know which one he's going to be wearing. Former chairman of the Hong Kong Rugby Union. You can see him down on the trackside presenting successful UAE team and team skipper Justin Walsh with the bowl.